All right. So we're now on the budget playground, right? Or as the little thing up at the top says, budget exploration playground, right? All right. A budget takes the fun out of money. Mason Cooley. I agree. Budgets do take the fun out of money, but they're also necessary. All right. Some financial advisors use the 50-30-20 rule for household budgeting. It's after tax income budgets. Budget 50% for necessities, including housing, 30 for luxuries, and 20 for paying off debt or saving for the future. Honestly, I have seen this in my own life. My grandfather used to always tell me to put 20% of each of my paychecks away for saving in case something happened. Honestly, I wish I had listened to him, but I didn't. So, wish I had. Um, Before exploring your own household's budget, start by practicing with a pretend budget. The Speck family's record of their income expenses is listed on the spreadsheet below, which is also a Google Sheet. Did not need to know that information, but awesome to have. Thank you for providing the fact that it is also a Google Sheet. Thank you, David. I'm sure if I click on this, will it take me to it? I don't know. Yes, Speak Family Budget Problem is on a Google Docs. So I'm just going to go back. You guys just probably see a very blank page, but yeah, I'm trying to get back to where it was. I apologize. All right, it's loading. I apologize for how slow this is. Let me do this actually. Okay. So we're back on this page, which is awesome, right? So why don't we continue? I just saw a bird. All right. Most of their expenses are the same from month to month. Their home has about $3,000 of property tax due each November, which they budget for by saving throughout the year. However, garbage pickup is billed quarterly. In March, they receive some anniversary money from family. In April, they need to fly to a wedding, and income tax is due. Just look at how closely the Speak family experiences expenses fit the 50-30-20 rule. You can expect the months May through December to look a lot like January and February. Then make the exploration personal. Track your own household expenses for a month or more and find how closely your own expenses fit the 50-30-20 rule. How could you improve budget? When you track your own expenses, you probably do not use exactly the same categories as the Speak family. Sorry, Spec family? Spec family. Which categories did you add or remove? What does that say about your values, priorities, and lifestyle? So, one thing, I can't really track my own expenses just because I don't really have any at this point in time, other than like food, transportation. luxuries, and maybe miscellaneous medical. That's about it. Which, just from knowing that and myself and knowing what my typical income is, well, even then, I can't really track it just because I did just start a new job. So I have to wait quite a while until I can see what the average amount of income I'm making is. All right. So that is their mortgage, which is not bad. Garbage pickup for January was 53, and in April was also 53, but it skipped February and March. Huh. Electric water bill in January was 120, then it went to 110, to 100, to 90, probably because they were using more electric because it was colder in January than it is in April. Phone bill 40, 40, 40, 40. That tends to stay the same. Same with the cable. House insurance stays the same at 40. Property taxes 250 across the board. Stuff for the house is 50 across the board. Stuff for the garden 30. Food, grocery, the food, so the groceries slash drugstores, it's about 200. Farmers market, 0 for the first 3 months, and then for April it goes up to 50 probably because that's when the farmers market opens. It typically does open around end of March, beginning of April. Transportation, car, bike maintenance 20 across the board, gasoline 40, auto insurance 80. It's actually pretty good. Travel 0 for the first 3 months, and then 600 for April. They probably went on a vacation. Luxuries, new clothes 30 across the board, eating out 50 across the board. Recreation slash books 20 across the board, postage 5, gifts 10 for the first 3 months, 50 for the last. Probably a birthday in April. Other income tax 900. Okay. Haircuts 30 for January and March. Medical slash glasses 10 across the board, miscellaneous 40. Then you have their basic income, expenses, and their total income and all of this, right? So, yeah. All right, I paused for a moment because my mom came in to get some food. That's fine. So if you look at this, it's very different. Each month, their total expenses is different. It seems to be going down as for both February and April, the cost went down. All of them are low. All 3 of these last ones from February to April are lower than January by far. But here you can see in March, they had an extra $200 of income. It's labeled under other income, and that gave them a little boost. I would say that typically, actually, April is the most expensive month out of all of them because it's 4,000, and they have income expenses of more than what their total income is. So honestly, I would not say that they follow the 50, 30, 20 rule. Just because for transportation there was that 600, and for this one I can't really fault them for because they can't really help the income tax that happened in April, the 900. They can't help that. That just kind of happened. So I don't fault them for the tax, right? But for the most part, I would not say that they follow the 50-30-20 rule. There have been instances where they have spent more on luxuries and transportation than the necessities. So, yeah, that is what I'm finding. I learned that budgeting is actually really important, especially looking at this sheet. If you look down here at their income expenses compared to their total income, it is really important to really figure out your budgeting and how much you want to spend on things, how much you have to, how much you can. Figure that stuff out. Keep in mind what your income is and try not to exceed it. But yeah. So you might want to, if you know that you have to have a little extra for the necessities for the housing and the food and for the basic transportation, not really the travel, because I don't count travel as a necessity, but the gasoline, the maintenance, and the auto insurance, I would definitely count that towards necessities. Same with the income tax and the medical glasses. Those I would consider necessities. So try focusing on those. The 50-30-20 rule tends to be a very good set of rules to follow. But yeah, that is essentially what I have to say on this. It's a fun little one, looking through it, figuring all of this out. So yeah, I learned that if you are wanting to save for the future, I would actually go with this rule just because it would give you really good results.